Hey guys, so this is Tuesday, the 4th. This is my second part. I'm just finishing up some thoughts about my yesterday late afternoon as I came into Catoosa, kind of giving you guys an update as to what went down. Um, so I just talked about Michelle and Rick at the produce stand, who were very decent to me. In fact, thank you guys. Gave me some amazing fruit in a to-go bag that I've been blasting through between this morning and last night. Um, just yummy as heck. So thank you guys. But again, there's a certain, you just look at people, and I've also seen couples that seem to work together while out here. Another couple that goes back to this true love is, I guess I didn't ask the question of them, but I think I see it now, and I didn't even bring it up, so I didn't ask the question. But Mike and Carla back in Miami, Oklahoma. So seeing these people in action, like I said, and maybe it has to do with work. I mean, I don't like some people I work with that are strangers, let alone having to work with somebody close to me. I think I told you a story about Mike and Carl in Miami, of an insurance agency. They work in the same office, not the same office. I mean the same office within the office. They work in the same room. Their desks are 4 feet apart. They're married and work 4 feet apart from each other all day long. Then I see Brooks and Sarah. Well, they do something a little bit different during the day because, Brooks is an electrician in town. These guys run a cattle farm together. I mean, that's not, hey, you go out, let's hear the gig, I'm going to go into town. That's crazy responsibility that they share together. Um, Debbie and Pam, similar. And then I meet, you know, Michelle and Rick, who have a produce stand together, which again, farming, bringing people together. So maybe there's really some truth in that. So anyway, at the produce stand, a gentleman looked to be of Indian descent, but I wasn't sure if he wasn't. I mean, I'm in tribal nations here of Oklahoma, so there's probably a lot of Indian blood in these folks. His name was Mike. I posted his picture. He just started talking to me and asked me where I was walking. I told him, and he was the sweetest guy in the sense that he shared a story with me. And he said, I went out to California when I was 17 years old. And so the story goes, and it was just neat the way he shared it. I don't know that there was any kind of, there is a point to it. There is a point to the story that I guess I want to share. So Mike says, yeah, my dad basically said, look, you're going to college or you're going to work. He said, I wasn't really much up for college, so I thought I was going to go to work. So we said I had heard about it out in California, and again, maybe I didn't ask this question, but maybe there was I don't know if it was out there or back here, or they were recruiting. He said, but they were recruiting us or recruiting people to come out to California to work on a fruit farm. You know, they'd pay our Greyhound bus, and we would get out there, and they'd put us up in room and board, and we'd pick fruit all day. He said, so that was a job, and it beat going to college. So he sent me some money, and I got on a Greyhound bus, and I went out to California. I forgot where he told me he went to, but the story goes he was on this fruit farm, but it was kind of on an island, and I mean I don't think it was an island, but it had maybe the only way to get off was this kind of gated, driveway area kind of thing. So he got out there, and he goes and got me in my room, and got up in the morning. All right, let's get out there and start picking fruit. And I started picking fruit. And he said that when we stopped at noontime for lunch, and I had eye openers, man, this isn't for me. He goes, but I didn't want to tell these folks. They just paid out a lot of money, and I didn't know what to do. So, but I didn't want to go back. And he goes, there was a Pepsi vending guy there with his Pepsi bottles filling up the vending machine. I said to him, man, can you get me out of here? And the guy said, well, son, I don't know how to. I can throw you in the back of my truck, but they may check my truck, and we'll both get in a heap of trouble. And he basically like, look, please, can you get me out of here? I can't do this. So I said, get in the back. He throws a tarp over him, and they get through the gate and pulls over once he gets through the gate and says, "All right, you're out, man. You gotta get out now and do your thing." So he says goodbye, and he starts thumbing his way back. And that's how this conversation got started. He asked me if I told him I was walking. He said, "You're thumbing?" I said, "No, I'm walking." So, and I went out to California. So anyway, so long and short of it, he starts hooking up with a few truckers. And the one story he told me, again, his message was kind of be careful who you get with. But he got on with this one trucker. And the guy said, "Can you drive?" And he said, "Yeah, I can drive." And he said, "Well, good," because I guess he'd been drinking all day, as Mike explains it to. "I'm going to go in the back and lay down." So Mike's driving through the night, and the guy, "Look, if you're hungry," and Mike said, "I hadn't eaten in, a day and a half, 2 days." He said, "I was panhandling, I was homeless, I was sleeping outside under a bridge. But these guys, I got hooked up with this guy. There's some bologna back there and some bread. Help yourself to a sandwich." He said, "Well," "I ate it all." So he goes, I'm up front and I'm driving through the night, and this fellow wakes up and says, "How you holding up there, boy?" And he said, "I'm doing good." "All right, well, I'm going to make myself a sandwich real quick, and I'll take over." So he goes in the back. He goes, "Man, did you eat all that bologna?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did." So he ate it all, and not the more of the story than just the way Mike told it was so beautiful. And he gets back home, and the trucker drops him off, and he walks back to his home and sees his dad. And he says, "It took me 3 days by 3.5 by Greyhound to get out there. It took me 3.5 to get back home." And his dad said, "I thought you were going to work." And he says, "I did. I was. That work's not for me, Pop. Welcome home, son." And got on with his life. But kind of the message I'm saying there is, there's some hard work out there. And two things is, a lot of us think we work real hard, and a lot of us don't even know what hard work is. I went on the farm the other day with Brooks and Jet and Sarah, and I didn't do much, but I saw what hard work was, and I've got to be honest, it's not for me. There's a certain kind of character and work ethic, and then you look at Sarah's 87-year-old dad still tending to the farm out there. When I drove up that day at 8 o'clock at night, he still had the tractor running. I mean, you talk about wow. So, again, Mike had a point to thumb at himself. He didn't play pretend. He didn't sit there and say, "I'm going to do this and be miserable." He got in there in 4 hours.